Rub it all up with some spices. Heat up the grill until it gets real hot. Throw on the meat and listen to it sizzle. Throw on the meat and listen to it sizzle. All we need is some special sauce. All we need is some special sauce and some barbecue buns. Yeah, barbecue buns.
Good evening and welcome to BBQ Bunz. My name is John Bunsley and I'll be your host this evening. We're here because I like to eat and I like to drink. And I like to cook and make drinks. And I want to share that with all of y'all. So that's what we're going to do, and let's get right to it. Let's make us a cocktail. It's always a good idea to have a little something to snack on. We got some nuts and some spicy Cajun mix there, a few olives, and some of these miniature French pickles here, man. They're called cornichons, and they're really yummy. Okay. Shaker. Shot glass. Vodka. So here we have our measuring device, the shot glass, universal measuring device. We're going to take the vodka and we're going to carefully measure 2 shots of vodka. Now, you see, it's very important that we don't, spill over and add any extra vodka. Oh, you know what we need? Fresh lemon juice. Alrighty, juice that sucker right up. Alright, that looks like enough. Let's see if it is. We're looking for 1 shot of the lemon juice. Now, we're going to use this stuff here. This is another French thing. It's Domaine De Canton. Canton. Can you say Canton? This is pretty strongly ginger flavored and we don't want to over gingify. So we're going to go with about a half. There we go. About 3/4 of an ounce, about half a shot there. We want a little bit of sweetness. I'm using the organic blue agave nectar instead of the simple syrup. This is a low glycemic sweetener. So we'll use about a half shot of that too. Pop that on in there. Whoa! Oh yeah. Put some ice in that shaker. Whoa, doggy. And then it's shake, 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 baby. Alrighty, now what you're looking for is shake it until basically your hand is so freaking cold that you can't really hold on to it any longer. And you also notice that there's a certain amount of, I believe it's called condensation. So we'll remove that top of the shaker and then we'll strain that into a cocktail glass. Ooh, that looks good, doesn't it? Cheers! Delicious. Okay, let's make some pilaf. So the first thing we're going to do is just chop up a couple of vegetables here. Blade, important part of cooking. You should cook with a sharp knife. You actually have more danger of hurting yourself if you cook with a dull knife than with a sharp knife. So, when chopping, always remember, you're using the fingers of this hand as a plane. You have your fingertips of that first knuckle bent under so you can't cut the tip of your finger off. And you're doing something along these lines like this. And we're going to chop this up in relatively little pieces. While we're doing that, let's put some olive oil in the pan. Alright, we're going to turn that on about to there 6-ish or something. Now we're going to add some extra virgin olive oil. It's very important to add precisely the right amount and to measure it out carefully. That looks about right. Okay, and while that's heating up, let's chop some onion. I personally like to remove the skin. Some people like to eat it. Again, remember, try not to cut yourself. Okay, so we're going to throw the vegetables in that heating oil. Oh, try to get most of them in the pan if possible. I'm going to be making about a cup of rice, so this is the amount of vegetables that works well for about a cup of rice. If you're doing something bigger than that, just throw a few more veggies in there. It's recommended that you rinse the rice. Just rinse it till it's clean, man. Oh, I hear the sizzling sound. Let's go take a look at the pan. Oh yeah, look at that. We got some good sizzle there. So we want to just soften up these vegetables a little bit. Exhibit G, garlic. This is considered 1 clove of garlic. It's considered a head of garlic. Rule of thumb, if a recipe calls for 1 clove of garlic, use 2 or 3. Always use more garlic than called for. We're going to go with 4 cloves here, if they're good size, more if they're wimpy. Those are pretty good looking. Of course, the garlic smusher. So we will now smush some garlic. Can you see how hot that is? Here's something I'm going to tell you. Garlic burns at a lower temperature than your vegetables, your other vegetables. Which is why you want to cook it at a little bit of a hotter temperature at first just to get those veggies going. Then turn you down a little bit and smush your garlic in there. So what you do, you smush it, it gets all smushed like that. And cut the extra smush off. You get rid of this smush over here, like so. Do that a few more times. By the way, if you don't like garlic, and nothing personal, but please don't watch my show. It's just going to be upsetting to you. Oh yeah! I'm going to stir that garlic in there. And then what are we going to do? Okay. So the original recipe calls for using bouillon. Wow, that's loud. Bouillon. Bouillon, which is a fun word to say. Bouillon. But I'm not going to use bouillon because I think there's all kind of crap and extra salt and who needs all that, you know what I'm saying? But so what I will use is I'll use some chicken broth in there to get your chicken flavor. Oh, we need some salt and some pepper. I like to use kosher salt. So add a little bit of salt, not too much, not too little. Some fresh ground pepper again. And see how some of that garlic sticking to the bottom. You don't want that to happen because it's going to burn if you do that. So really, that is about it seasoning wise. Garlic, salt, pepper, and chicken broth. We're going to turn that temperature up again. Woo! Hot in there. And we're going to put our rice right in here into that hot oil. And you want to stir that rice up real good in there. And you're actually going to cook it a little bit. Not a lot, but just a little bit. But you also want to just get all that oil and all those seasonings just all mixed up in that rice. Good, good, good like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Now we got chicken broth, ladies and gentlemen. How much rice did we use? We used 1 cup. General rule of thumb, double the liquid. So we're going to use a couple of cups worth. Alright, we're going to add that in there. Oh yeah, look at that. And as always, when you're adding anything good, always put a little extra in just for the heck of it, right? That's what I say. Alright, we're going to stir that up so none of that stuff sticks on the bottom there. So we're going to let that heat up till it boils. And then we are going to turn it down to low heat. And we're going to simmer that on low heat for about 45 minutes. And you don't need to stir it. If you're cooking it on low heat, you don't need to stir it. It's not going to burn. One final thing that we're going to add, as soon as it starts boiling, spinach. Some fresh spinach. Just stir that spinach into your boiling stuff there. Then you want to turn that dial on down, low heat, and cover it. We'll just let that sit, like I said, about 45 minutes. Most fish dishes involve either a preparation prior to the cooking, usually a marinade or perhaps a blackening with dry spices, or a sauce or a treatment that's added after the fish is cooked. This dish, this flavoring and the seasoning is added as the fish is actually cooking. So what we're going to make is we're going to make a basting sauce, which then we are going to continually apply to the fish throughout the entire process of cooking. We're going to start out, of course, with some lime juice. So we did 3 limes here. We got our lime juice. To that we will add a little extra virgin olive oil, again, measuring very carefully. The crux of this sauce is your herbs. So we're going to go with a couple of cloves of fresh garlic here, kosher salt, fresh ground black pepper. And now, here we have the fresh herbs, the trio of fresh herbs that makes up the delicious flavor of this fish. This here is oregano, fresh basil, and tarragon. What you want to do is just mince this stuff up all together. All right, that looks good, right? Let's go ahead and throw all those herbs in that sauce. And you just mix that up. You can apply this with a spoon. However, if you're fancy like me, and you have one of these lovely basting brushes, well then you can use that. And that's what we're gonna do. Here's our fish. Okay, this is really important. These are salmon steaks. Why is it important that they be salmon steaks? It's because of the grain. Okay? When you cut a fillet, you're going along the grain this way. When you cut a steak, obviously you're going this way. So you see all these lines, these gradations of tissue within there. So we're going to be applying that basting sauce, and because of all of those striations in the fish, that sauce is going to go and soak down through that fish and just give it an amazing flavor. Always, always, always rinse the fish in cold water and pat it dry before cooking it, no matter what method you are using. Trust me. Rinse it nice and thoroughly, all of the skin, all of the surface, and then you pat it dry. Paper towel works just fine. Okay, there they are. We're ready to go out to the grill. Ladies and gentlemen, the grill. What you want to do when you're putting fish on a grill like this grill is very hot. You want to make sure that it's seasoned before you put the fish on, because otherwise the fish will stick to your grill. A little container of olive oil, a little piece of folded up paper towel. And we dip that in there and we spread it out on the grill. Very simple. And now we are going to go ahead and place our steaks on the grill. Oh yeah. You can use a spoon. You can spoon the mixture onto the fish like so. Or you can use the brush. Even if you're using a brush, you do want to make sure every once in a while to scoop into it and make sure you're pulling up some of those herbs and some of that garlic and not just getting the olive oil and the liquid. A key to preparing this dish, and this is different than a lot of other grilling things, is you're going to be turning this fish a lot. So we want to go ahead and turn very quickly because we don't have any seasoning on the underside of the fish. And we're going to go ahead, of course, and season up this. And this is basically what it is, folks. You want to turn this every couple of minutes. So it doesn't take that long to cook, but it does take a little bit more attention than some things which you just kind of put on there, put the cover down, and wait and see what happens. These are pretty thick steaks. I think they might take about 10 to 15 minutes to cook. All right, we're going to talk about 2 Eno things. Vino and Beano. French-style green beans to go along with our meal here. Again, very, very simple. We're just going to steam these and put a little butter, a little salt, and a little fresh squeezed lemon juice on them. They're going to be yummy tasty. And the vino. This evening we're going with a Francis Coppola Diamond Label Chardonnay. Normally I don't buy the diamond labels, but it was on sale, so what the hell. Then you swirl. Okay, doesn't matter why. Excellent. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get the beans going here because our fish is looking really good. It's almost done. As I said, real simple. With this kind of bean, you don't even trim them. You just pop them in there. Turn on your burner. Go to town. So, when we look at our fish here, we can see, oh, look at that. It's separating out nicely. It's looking pretty good. It's still not done. If I were to cut down to the middle, you'd see that it's still not quite done in the middle. So we're going to go ahead and flip it a couple of more times. We've got a little bit more of our sauce to apply to it, but we're real close to getting done on that. Now, because the sauce contains raw garlic in it, keep in mind that you're going to want to cook it for a while after the last application of sauce, just so that all of that garlic has a chance to soften up and give its flavor to the fish. As our last point here, we're going to go ahead and lower the heat, close the hood, and let it bake that last little piece. It just take a couple of minutes. So that's what we're going to do here. And we're going to take these beans inside. Lemon juice. Squeeze some of that in there. A little bit of butter. Let's go get our fish off the grill and let's eat dinner. Oh yeah. All right. Bit of some of that rice peel off there, yeah. Well, folks, it's time to eat. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me, and good luck in all your own cooking and drinking endeavors. Cheers from BBQ Bunz.
Yeah, BBQ Bunz.
5, 4, 3.
I wasn't ready. Oh, I think that's the lid for the vodka. This vodka has no handles. I mean, those, well, I mean, they're pretty small. I need to get bigger shot glasses. Grilled. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Cocktail. We're gonna have to cut that. You know how sometimes they seem to get stuck? Whoa! Ah! Ah! And let's see. My goodness. Well, that's all I have left. Thought I'd share that with you.